Yes, indeed, indeed, indeed. YouTube, I see you. We live. Facebook, we live. Dun, 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 dun. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. What's up, my good people? God is good. God is good, man. Let's talk about some things. Let's talk about some things. I'm always kind of TikTok Nation. How you doing, good people? Anybody watching the DNC convention? I mean, damn. Just gonna be reacting to a little bit of that. Reacting to a little bit of that. Man, I'm talking about they started out with pure evil. Pure evil. And then you think about it and you say, man, how are they starting out like this? I mean, most of the Democrats are supposed to be like kind of like Christian. If anybody wondering, I posted that the other day for people to see. That's the actual true first black person to actually run, well, first black woman, well, maybe the first black person actually, now that I think about it. Shirley Chisholm is actually the first black woman, possibly the first black person. Yeah, to actually run for president. They like to play on the women's emotions. They got my I know a lot of women that they really, really got caught up into this really. Oh, this the first black woman that can run. We hear Ricky Smiley crying about the first black woman, this and that, the first black woman, this and that, the first black woman, this and that. And I kind of got tired of hearing that because the more I talk to, like I see a lot of sisters and women in general, whether they are white or black, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Chinese, women in general, a lot of them are not going for the rhetoric. But I also do notice that um, a lot of the people are going for it. And they are impressed. And that's all they say. Well, it's the first black woman, ever ran for president. And, we got to do this for that reason alone. We got to do this. We got to do this. And for those people, just for those people, I kind of wanted to put it out there that she is not the first black woman. She may have not been supported by the same black people that are in support of all of this communist stuff, this Marxist agenda. But I'm going to just be honest. The last time I checked with the Christian church, as a man in revolutionary organizations, they was not supporting this kind of stuff. As a matter of fact, every time there were progressive movements in black communities, it was primarily Christians and the church that kind of stood in the way of progress or kind of looked at us as, well, you're speaking against the government, so you're doing evil. That's not how to do it. And to be honest, a lot of times we didn't get any support by those Christians. I know that for a fact. No support at all. And then you look at what's going on today. And you look at the first people in line. You look at the first people who are hollering the loudest for this stuff. You look at the most solid, demographic of people that are supporting this. And you sit back and you say, damn, a lot of these people are saying they're Christians. A lot of these people are supposedly people of God. Deja Vu. What's going on? I see you in the building. Give us some of that. Give us something to talk about. Let's give them something to talk about. Well, you know what? The DNC did plenty of that last night. And I got to react to it. If you're on YouTube, please share, like, comment. The main thing about it is just awareness. I'm only doing it for those that want to know and may not know. Not here to argue about it. You know, for those that may have said, well, it's the first black woman or the first woman, or we know it ain't the first woman because Hillary Clinton ran, but they're using that first black. And then I listened to Ricky Smiley, and he said, not only that, but she will be sworn in by the first black Supreme Court justice, first black female Supreme Court justice. And so we're talking about two historical things about two supposedly black women. And I just remember when they asked that Supreme Court justice, can you actually describe a woman? Tell us what a woman is. To this day, I haven't heard her say anything about what a woman is. As a matter of fact, her and Kamala has doubled down on the standard of what a woman is, what a woman can be, who can be a woman, how that person could be a woman. Kamala and Ketanji Brown Jackson both are disrespecting women. So I'm hoping that, a lot of it's funny because we look at a lot of white women who say they are white women for Trump. I mean, white women for Kamala. White men for Kamala, Hispanic men for Kamala, gay men for Kamala, trans, all of these different things. But I'm gonna tell you something, my sisters, wherever you may be, it don't matter. I'm talking about my sisters, my white women, my Hispanic women, whatever you may be. But particularly to the black women who are hollering for this demise of our community, some of those people are helping you to your demise. Some of these people have already figured out how desperately stupid we can be sometimes. And I say we just as a general, because when they sell that stuff to us, they don't say, I'm going to go and find Deja Vu. I'm going to go and find Blazing. I'm going to sell this to the black community. So, and overall, we can't deny that it has been working. If it hasn't, we wouldn't be in the predicament we're in now. And so it is a direct attack, a direct line, a direct strategy, and it's helping. It's working a lot. Christians need to stop providing safe spaces for this evil. Deja vu. You are 100% correct. And in saying that, deja vu, it makes me want to play this. I wanted to start out with this. This guy, Senator Raphael Warnock, he's also a pastor. He also claims to be a pastor. Listen to him as he downgrades and talks down on Donald Trump and say America needs to, reject this Donald. Listen to how much offense. Listen to how offended this man is at Donald Trump. Now, I know my people on TikTok can't see it, but you can hear it if you like to. If not, I understand. But this must be played, shared. You're on TikTok. You're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, or YouTube. Man, do your best to share it with a friend, because they're dependent on us not to know. It's going to be so many Christians line up after voting day if Kamala wins. And 6 months later, those Christians are going to be ashamed of what they see. Maybe. And I say maybe because maybe they don't have any shame. But these are the ones that will sit down and say, oh, I didn't know that. When she starts the process of giving away America, I meant to say continue the process of giving away America, spitting down on the citizens of America that are already starving, already homeless, already dealing with mental health, already dealing with this, that, already dealing with struggling finances, already dealing with inflation. But you can simply break the law and then take advantage of everything in America. Wow. And so these are the people. I mean, when we got tampons, imagine this law that Tampon Timmy made for Minnesota. Imagine that law being mandated nationwide. I think that would be sad. I think it would be sad, and I actually think we could see it as a reality. I mean, why stop at your state? Um, I mean, this was not something that they had as a referendum. This is something that he came down and said, "Hey, don't even worry about the small things that we do normally before I sign something. I'm just gonna sign this, and I want these little wads of toilet paper called tampons in every boy's bathroom in elementary schools on up in Minnesota." That could be nationwide very soon if we are not careful. If we are not careful, that could be nationwide very soon. Not 5 or 6 years from now, like we used to say when we saw crazy stuff. Oh man. But I'm talking about by November. These people are not hiding. They are not lying. They are not even ashamed of the things that they're saying. And I don't know why, for the life of me, I don't understand how so many sisters, so many women, so many people with daughters in particular, but also sons. And I say daughters first because this woman is representing herself as a woman for you, as a woman, protecting women's rights and this and that, but they're actually giving away women's rights. Plain and simple. Clueless. This is Senator Raphael. I'm going to call him Senator Warnock. I don't know what kind of pastor he is, but listen to him as he states that the things that he's complaining about, the things that offends him is Donald Trump. Not the fact that the DNC is in Chicago. Now, remember, I don't know if anybody remember me talking about it, but remember I spoke after the RNC convention and I heard the word Jesus or God over 150 times. And that's a fact. Let me give myself ooh. I covered the RNC convention and I heard the word Jesus or God over 150 times. Awesome. Now, how does the DNC start out? Last night, they started out making a huge statement. Chicago, mostly black, right? A very, 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 very high percentage of black people. Definitely predominantly black people. So instead of coming with God, instead of coming with Jesus, instead of coming with any spirituality in their bones or in their message, they come with a clinic, a van, more than one, riding around the city, riding around, parked outside the DNC to let you know that you can come right here, right now, and get free abortion pills. You can take your black child out right now. Why wait? In other words, you can go and have unprotected sex tonight, and we'll be here all week to help you kill that child or to give you something to help you get rid of that child. Yeah, just get loose with it. No protection. By the way, if they put more money into prevention as they do into abortion, probably wouldn't have this big of a deal. But as it stands, it is seriously a race to get rid of a lineage and to actually depopulate the earth, as we heard the Democrats talk about so much. Kamala Harris being one of them. You can actually find that clip because I thought they may have gotten rid of it. I was like, oh man, they definitely got rid of that. But you can actually find Kamala Harris actually talking about depopulation of the earth. She supports this. We all know that Bill Gates is a friend of not the Republicans, but the Democrats. And Bill Gates is on a campaign talking about depopulation of the earth. Wayne, how you doing, my brother? Terry, Kelsey. Yes, indeed. Mando. Yeah, man. So I just wanted to get on this, man. And this guy, I had to start out with him, especially after I read what Deja Vu said on YouTube. Christians need to stop providing safe spaces for this evil. That is a fact. Outside the DNC convention, they are giving away not only abortion tools, free abortion, free abortion, go out, have fun tonight, do whatever you want to do, free abortion. But they're also, for my fellas, giving away vasectomies. Also giving away vasectomies right outside. And I don't know the name of the thing, but they are what is called? What is it called? I'll let them tell it. Let's play a little bit of Raphael as he talks about how disgusted, how offended we should all be about Trump. But he's a staunch Democrat supporting everything the Democrats are doing.
And, you know, as a pastor, as a person of faith, I take great offense with the way in which he is weaponizing the symbols of our great country and also the symbols of the faith towards this kind of hate. And we've seen this kind of thing historically. And listen, we're the United States of America. I think there are enough decent people. We will push past this awful chapter of hate and division and Trumpism. But I have to say that the Christian church is going to have to come to terms with the fact that there is no full accounting for this phenomenon of Trumpism without reference to the church. And we got to come to terms with that. My faith is not a weapon, it's a bridge. And that's the way Dr. King used his faith. That's the way Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel used his faith, who said when he marched alongside Dr. King, he felt like his legs were praying. And I was trying to call us back to that moral tradition that evinces certain values that I think are resonant in all of the great faith traditions.
I mean, had the big IUD in the middle of the DNC convention. We have Chris.
By the way, that IUD that they had on display is 18 feet tall. They are making sure you do not miss this IUD. That's crazy. And that's another it's another good channel. Oh man, what is it called? Anyway, I'm not remembering what it's called, but these guys right here is a great channel. Pop and Politics, I think something like that. Great channel. Do their research right on the panel. And man, 18-foot IUD. That way you can see it from miles. Not miles, but you can see it from a long way. They want you to know. They want you to know that this is a spot where you can come and get rid of that, what you are carrying. Get rid of what God has blessed you to be able to have. By the way, God gave you all those reproductive rights. And I agree with, who was that? Was that Stacy? Was that Angela Stanton King? When she says, you know, they're giving you a right to destroy what God has given you in a right to reproduce. And all you're doing is destroying it. So it's not a right to reproduce. It's a right to end reproduction for that cycle. By the way, you can go out and get another one, come and end it again. You know, it's a continuous ongoing cycle to where you can get rid of something that God has blessed you and you only to have. Yeah, man. That's crazy. Yeah, and this guy, so he's offended, the pastor, he's offended at Trump. You know, not at the abortion clinic sitting outside on wheels, riding through black neighborhoods, you know, riding by black people saying, hey, you know, vasectomies free, telling men, go ahead. That way you can have unprotected sex for the rest of your life. Why would you know taunting men with that? Because we know some men, you know, some people, both sexes, male and female. I've heard it all. I'm old enough. I just don't like it protected. Oh man, I gotta feel it, boy. I gotta feel that thing, boy. We hear it. Stupid, but we hear it. And so they're saying now, we got this great van outside. Boom, 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 boom. You women, we can give you some pills. Matter of fact, we don't just have to give you the pill for the day. We're gonna load you up. And for the guys, we can give you some. I don't know how a vasectomy look. I don't know what happens during it, so I won't be able to say. But for the guys, we got something where you can have unprotected sex for the rest of your life. You could drop it in and not worried about it because you will be infertile. You won't have any. You'll be shooting dog water, as we used to say. That's a little bit of juice with no babies. That's what they're doing in Chicago. And I think Chicago is predominantly, I'm talking about 90% black. You think they would have did this in New York City, even though New York is as blue as it is? Do you think they would have parked that van right? No. White women get fertility clinics in their communities. Black women, Hispanic women, Puerto Rican women, Mexican women, anybody on that side of a scale where they might say you got a little bit of color, you get abortion clinics. Fertility clinic in some neighborhoods and communities, mostly white communities, abortion, and as we see now, the Democrats have pushed it to a whole new level. Free vasectomies. Just throwing them out. Here you go, dudes. Kill your dick. Kill it. All right, we can't be soft. Oh, man. Did the word soft have to come right there? Let's see. All right, we can't be soft on subjects just because it's coming out of fam and ooh. I'm going to start that over. First, I'm going to put a star by it. We can't be soft on subjects just because it's coming out of families and friends' mouth. Jesus don't sit on the fence about none of these topics. Wow. Well, I just want to tell you, Deja Vu, your brand of Christian is not valid today. Not valid is the wrong word because we're more than valid. They're irrelevant. We are irrelevant when it comes to this, when it comes to the politics, when it comes to the black community that votes on skin color. When it comes to these elections where you put somebody, if you hate a guy, you will vote against your children and your future and against Jesus. So you're right, Deja Vu. But unfortunately, this thing is being led and ran and advertised and promoted by people who are against Jesus, who are against the traditional word, who are against the Bible. Blazing Mama, 91. That's why the Democrats are encouraging people when it comes to God, because killing is one of the That's why the Democrats are not, okay, I said that wrong. That's why the Democrats are not encouraging people when it comes to God, because killing is one of the 7 sins. I don't understand why these women out here are so cool with it. If you don't want a baby, stay protected. Yeah, that's what I meant about prevention. It's crazy. It's really nuts. But I want to respond to some more of this because it actually gets out of hand. They actually have different caucuses, and these young women on politics and pop culture, they actually pop in politics. They actually put up this list of different caucuses they had that they're actually doing at different times. They have a black caucus for women, Hispanic caucus, white women's caucus, did I say Hispanic? One more. All 4 different caucuses. Oh yeah, Indians, Indian women, what they call Native American Indian women. Now that I said the Native Americans, I want to say 5 caucuses that they're holding at 5 different times. And you say, why? Why can't they all sit down at the same time? Why can't they all sit you down at one time and talk to you? Well, that's because they can't tell you what they're telling the other people. So when they talk to blacks, they want to get them all in one room, and they want to make sure, a white woman say, hey, wait a minute, you just said that to us. Or, hey, wait a minute, that's not what you told us. And then when they get in the white room with their white caucus women, they start saying some real beautiful things that they did not tell the black people. So forth and so on for the Asian caucus of women, the Hispanic caucus of women. They can't let them all be in the same room because they have to feed them different narratives. In other words, they have to pander to each group. So therefore, they're doing each group separately. They won't speak to the people as the people. They want to separate so they can do identity politics. That's it. So they could tell this group of women one thing and then go and tell another group another thing and then go and tell, and if they could keep those groups separated, which they tend to do a very good job of, they'll never know. Just like black people are a lot of times the last one to find out something, and then they end up saying stupid stuff like, when did this happen? How did this happen? Well, you know when it happened. We was telling you when. You know how, because we was telling you how. You just wasn't listening. You just wasn't listening. Let me see this brother right here. Boom.
God, which is the government. So religious fervor, definitely, that's acting on these people and getting them to make permanent decisions at a political convention. It's just really strange.
Anything that is free or labeled as free, it will draw a lot of people. And unfortunately, many of those people happen to be black people like you and I are. So you hear the word free, it's like Pavlov's dog. Free, free, free. And that's all that matters, even sucking your children down a sink.
Yeah, they're running on this abortion, vasectomies, and racism. So that's really, they don't have anything else that they're really talking about. They're not talking about foreign policy. They're talking about some.
That's it. They have no policy. That's it. And they're actually dependent on, I hate to say it, but they're actually playing on the intelligence of most of the women. That is why they're making sure they keep these women caucuses separated. That is why they are making sure that the Mexican women, the Hispanic women, Latino women, black women, and white women are all in separate rooms when they speak to them. They call it caucuses. And they all have different times, different days where they're going to talk about something. And I'm telling you, if a person can't sit somebody down all at one time, a room full of different color, different backgrounds, different cultures of people, different races, and say what they're trying to say, then that means they're planning on lying to you. That's the only reason why they can't do it. That is the only reason why. So having said that, we heard the pastor come out talking about how upset he is and how disappointed he is with the Democrats. I meant to say with Donald Trump. He's not upset or disappointed in none of the free abortion stuff, none of the transgenderism stuff that's going on, none of the tampons and boys' bathroom. That doesn't offend him. That doesn't offend him at all. The only thing that's offending him is somehow Donald Trump. And so I want to ask the black community. What is it that people in Chicago are so upset about that a lot of us, I've heard people of the South are, they say, I'm just being honest. People in the North say the people in the South are slow. That's just a fact. I've been all over America, so I know. People in the South are said to be a little bit slow. Well, I'm going to tell you something, my people in the South. You are not helping the narrative. Why is it that we are not upset about what we see? But on the contrary, on the other hand, look at Chicago. Man, I wouldn't be surprised if it actually goes down before this is over. I wouldn't be surprised if it actually goes down. They upset. Let's look at some of it.
This isn't MAGA. This isn't Republican.
Damn.
It's trying to break into the DNC. This is Democrats fighting amongst each other. They're all protesting the Kamala Harris DNC, getting her inaugurated or getting her elected, I guess, officially. And they hate it. I asked all these people, are they voting for Kamala Harris? They've said no. And this is an internal war. It's going to help out Republicans tremendously. Democrats, you're in shambles right now. What's going on here?
Look at this. This is lunacy. None of this was at the RNC convention. None of this madness. None of this. Those cops got to be fearing for their lives right now. Imagine this. Imagine the laws that they have made to handcuff cops, especially in places like Chicago, which is a very, very, very blue city. And, these cops out here, they outnumbered greatly. And I'm imagining tonight there will be more protesters. This is lunacy, but it just goes to show that a lot of people are paying attention. I don't see enough black people out there upset about what's going on. They're not just protesting Palestine. They're not just protesting Israel. Some of these people are protesting that very thing, that very little van that is riding around trying to find black babies to abort or black dinglings to vasectomize. If I can make up a word, did I say that right? Vasectomize. That sound like I'm gonna take it. I think that sounds like a good word. Yeah, free vasectomies, black men. Step up. Chop it off. Not really chop it off, but let us kill it. Let us give it something to where it don't never be able to produce another baby. Yeah. Free vasectomies, free abortions. That's the Democrats' message. And, by the way, a man can be a woman. A man can be better than a woman. We want to actually take this to your children. Tampon Tims in the bathrooms for elementary boys. This is the message. No policy. Nothing of what they're going to do. As a matter of fact, it's so hypocritical. Steve Harvey, oh my gosh. This guy. I remember Steve Harvey actually being put on blast for going to see Donald Trump. For going to see Donald Trump and talk to Donald Trump. But if we remember correctly, what did he do when he went to talk to Donald Trump? He went asking. He may didn't have to ask for himself personally, but he went with a fake list of demands. I call it fake now because he's all over TV saying black people need to stop asking for stuff. Don't ask Kamala for nothing. And so he's saying that because he know Kamala doesn't have a plan for black America. So Steve Harvey, the Ricky Smileys, they're coming straight out saying black people don't ask for nothing, just go and vote. Shut up and go and vote. I've been canceled Steve Harvey. I don't even listen to Ricky Smiley. He's never been funny. But it's always these guys that's willing to put on a dress, that's willing to do anything for $1. And now they've done so much butt kissing and selling out their communities, and now they're branded. Now every time they are needed, those people, I don't know who they are, but they are somebody. The powers that be are coming to them saying, come on, Jigaboo. Time to do your work. It's time for you to talk down to your people. It's time for you to talk down to the black community. Tell them how stupid they are. Tell them how dumb they are. Tell them how wrong they are. Come on, Jigaboos. It's always the black, and Malcolm X warned us about it. Malcolm X told us straight out, the black comedians, the black sports players, actors, and singers. Malcolm X called it out way back then. He said, these will be our downfall. These are the biggest enemies of the black community, along with the Democratic Party. But he knew way back then that the Democrats was going to use those type of people because the black civilian at home, for the most part, not all of them. Shout out to all of the good people who doing good work, like my brother who I'm showing right now, A Righteous Perspective, ARP, the LFR family, also the Conservative Perspective. And as you see Pop in politics, man, you know, it's a lot of good people you can follow to stay up to speed, stay in the loop of what's going on, because I'm telling you, the Democrats have the media sold up. They got the media on lock and key. And so that's not going to change. So we cannot depend on them to actually give us any information. By the time you get the information, look at how well they protected Joe Biden. Look at how well they protected Joe Biden. And then I got people who I had been telling that for 3 years to say some stuff like, oh man, I finally seen Joe. No. You didn't finally see him. You just didn't want to hear it because you don't like Trump. These people act like they don't know the truth. They will purposely not look for truth. Go down and sit in front of the same news that lied to them and slapped them in the face and spit on them for 3 years, 3.5 years, 3 years and 8 months. A little bit less than 8 months at this point. Yeah, 8 months. And they'll go to it for some more. Slap me again. Give me some more. Lie to me some more. I love it. Wow. Then they wonder why the kids start lying so much. Well, I thought you liked lies, Mom or Dad. You sit down in front of the same TV every day. Then when your kid come home and try to tell you something he may have learned and he know it's credible, you don't even want to hear it. It's crazy.
You 1 second. No, ain't no.
Look at this. This is my favorite video of the day. I really wanted to watch this because so many black people look up to people like Roly-Poly Roland Martin. And Roland Martin is one of the biggest sellouts. You know, we tend to love to support these Negroes that have been paid bootlickers, and they're going to stay rich. They're going to stay rich. As long as there's a black community, guys like Roland Martin will always get paid because they always want to dumb down the black community, plain and simple. And so there was a young guy that was running for mayor in Chicago. He was running against the guy, Brandon Johnson. This guy lost, but he's still trying to do the work. And so he was saying stuff, basically the same type of stuff I'm saying, about how bad the Democrats are for the black community, how far they are pushing other black people out, cheating other black people out of the piece of their pie, even if they had a pie, like the blacks in Denver, like the Hispanics in Denver, the natural citizens in Denver that are being forced out of their apartments because Venezuelan gangs have taken over these apartments. Y'all better look these stories up, especially if you're in Florida, you're in Georgia, you're sitting on your hands and you're thinking it's a joke because we don't see a lot of it here. Find out what's going on in Denver, in Colorado. Find out how these gang members, these Venezuelans, robbed like 6 pawn shops in one day, got all the guns, and right now they control these apartment complexes. And they're putting blacks out and whites out, Hispanics out, Puerto Ricans out, anybody that lived there, because they had to call themselves tricking people out of there by, you know, kind of call themselves shutting down the whole thing. And guess what? The Venezuelan people said, nah, we ain't going for it. We ain't going nowhere. Yeah, man, find out, because that's coming to a theater near you. That's going to come to a theater near you. And you're going to pick up a phone and try to call the cops. They ain't going to be there. They defunded. Anyway, Roly-Poly Martin talking that doo-doo to another young black dude. You know, these young black dudes, they're a little bit more about it. And I'm so glad this dude rolled up on Roland. So glad. You know, you talk all that I know is Roland, the guy said Roland disrespected him and called him dumb on a live video. You know, another Democrat, old behind Roland Martin, talking down on a young black man that just ran for mayor. So at least he's trying to do something. But because his politics is different than Roland Martin's, because he don't agree with what's going on with the migrants, and because he don't agree, and I actually think he's a Democrat. But he's more of a traditional Democrat. He doesn't agree with the transgenderism. He doesn't agree with all of that stuff that Christians and Roland Martin, Steve Harvey, Grandma, this dude that dress up in dresses, Ricky Smiley. You know, I ain't never seen somebody smile so much while he was wearing a dress. Besides Tyler Perry, who supports it also. And so anyway, this guy rose up on him, and man, the real coward came out of Roland Martin. His favorite thing, I just seen him do it again. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. He's going to get you arrested if you try to confront him.
I gave you enough pictures. I gave you enough pictures. Yesterday, you tweeted about me. You tweeted, you called me dumb. You called me dumb.
Hey, welcome back. It's your man Wise, and
look at how this coward is backing up. He don't want to talk. He don't want to talk in person. No. He has no conversation in person. But when he's on his live with his viewers, he's talking down on another black man. And that black man read up on him last night at the DNC convention. That is why I say something might happen. Not between them two, so to speak, but so many people besides Christians seem to be upset. So many people seem to be offended besides the majority of the fake Democrat Christians. God knows the difference. I don't. I mean, I could make a call on it, but I'm not God, so I cannot judge. But I can say what it looks like. And there are not a lot of people who are saying what Deja Vu is saying, and what Blaze Your Mama is saying, and what I am saying, and what a lot of Christians around America is saying. But for the Democrats, it just seemed to be a totally different thing. I don't know.
Yesterday, you tweeted about me. You tweeted, you called me dumb. You called me dumb.
hey, welcome back. It's your man Wise, and today we got to talk about it, man. So you guys know the DNC is cranking up this week, and it is a mess already. Golly, man, it's just so unbelievable, man. I mean, when you think about what we saw at the RNC, a little over a month ago, and you compare that to...
I was just saying that. It's no comparison. The RNC was full of love. The RNC was full of spirituality. The RNC, I mean, if you was just watching it, you actually felt like you could have been a non-Trump guy. You could have been an independent. You watched the RNC. If you was a godly person, it was over. Is it? That's it. I got to go with them. I don't even have to go with Trump. I got to go just on the sake of what I'm seeing. I mean, God and Jesus, that's all you heard all week. And look at the way and this just the start of it. By the end of this week, I believe we will see transgenders on the stage. We probably see, I don't know if we'll see another Meg Thee Stallion sighting. Maybe not, because she took a lot of flack for that one. But we know what's going down. We know what's going down. It's crazy. I don't know how they're getting away with it either. I just don't. I mean, imagine this. The attempt on Trump's life was what? Not even 2 months ago? Not even 2 months, possibly. It's like old news. That's how crazy the Democrats are. That's how bad things are right now. That's all. It's news every day coming from the Democratic Party. And I just really wanted to highlight the main thing that offended me was the fact that we have a van more than one van. They call it a clinic, an abortion clinic on wheels, riding around in a 90%. God is always present in the mouths of 90% black community or Hispanic community, and they're riding around giving away free vasectomies, free what's the word? Vitro something, IUDs, and free abortion pills. It doesn't say KILL your child no louder than that. I mean, that's ridiculous. That is so crazy. Fertility clinics in some communities, abortion and vasectomy mobiles in other communities. I don't get it. I don't get it. But this is the representation of the people that say they are the party that believes in God or Christ. Get out of here. It's sad. And I think more people every day, like Blasian said, need to talk about it. Make those people who claim to be Christian feel like doo-doo, because they should. This is what you are supporting. You are supporting unaliving babies at any time. And not only are you supporting that, because we know there are situations where it is necessary, or people feel it's necessary, but you're not just supporting it, you're also supporting sex, unprotected sex, around the clock. Why else would you tell a man, let me give you a vasectomy free? Come on. That way you can go and have all of the unprotected sex you want. This is riding around and happening in black communities. And these are the people up there saying to black people in a room, a small room, a very small room, I got your back. I want to do what's right for the black. We've been ostracized for this. We've been this. We've been that. That's a lie. And as soon as you give them your vote, they're going to continue to do the very thing that they complained to you that's happening to you. As a matter of fact, they're going to do it more. You know why? Because they're going to continue to try to turn down our population. They're going to continue to say, hey, God blessed you to do the impossible, to bring forth life, to carry life. But we can give you a pill without any reason at all, just for, just because we can. If you have those reasons, cool. But even if you don't, we can give you this to take away that blessing that God has placed in you. That guy's mad at you anyway. He was a one-night stand anyway. He don't like you. So get rid of it. Yeah. And Christians are on board 100%. Wow. 100%.
Because Democrats have epically failed when it comes to dealing with the issues of Chicago. So he has been very critical of Brandon Johnson.
If I was American and they said, hey, Chicago, New York, and these sanctuary cities is going to give you immediate resources like this, I would be on the way too. So it's not about them. It's about leadership and their priorities of us. Because we elected you. We supported you. I ain't support Brandon Johnson, y'all know that. But some of y'all did. But the reality is that y'all supported these leaders. And these leaders are supposed to be working for you. Those folks can't vote. Those folks don't pay taxes. Those folks ain't have ancestors here. Those folks ain't never been to America. You elected these people. You pay taxes. You pay property taxes. You pay income taxes. You elected these politicians to work for you and your children. And the fact that they will leave you to starve, they will leave you to starve even if you're a veteran. They won't care if your children is running these streets because they ain't got nowhere to go. They don't care if you are out there and sleeping in cardboard. Ain't no team gonna come and ask you if you want to go come to a shelter, give you 6 months of free rent. But yet they can do that for very people who are not citizens. Should be a slap in the face to all of the folks who pour into this country each and every day. Now, that's not a Republican stance. That's not a Make America Great Again stance. That's not a Donald Trump stance. That is a common sense American stance.
Who can argue with that? Who can argue with that? That's the young black man who ran for mayor. I don't know how he lost, but he did not win. And that's the young man that you saw earlier.
Are you dreaming of establishing your business presence? Opus Virtual Offices provides an all-inclusive solution, instantly elevating your business with a suite of professional services tailored to your needs.
And so that brother came looking for some receipts. That brother came looking for some receipts. And Roland Martin didn't want no part of it, but he'll get on his show and talk all day. And of course, violence is not the answer. I don't think the brother went looking for violence, but you could clearly hear him say, hey, you said some stuff about me on your show. Now I'm here in person. Let's see if we could talk in person. And Roland Martin didn't even want to talk to him. You heard him, you saw him backing up. And that's all it is. You know why? The main reason is because he's not talking for black people. He's only talking and showing out for his masters. And they love to tell us that Donald Trump is your master. And if you're not listening to all of them, they think they're our masters. All of these bootlicking politicians and people like Roly-Poly Martin, the Steve Harveys, the whatever the smiley guy name in the dress, whoever else, comedian putting on dresses, all of these black people who was elevated to certain positions, they think they are our masters. And when they speak, we are supposed to listen. We are supposed to listen. And the only time they send them out, they send them bootlickers out when they start seeing other people start reading on their own. Remember, slaves were killed trying to learn to read. They love to say, people died for a right to vote. People died trying to read too, man. So now these are reasons and these are excuses that they're trying to tell you. They're trying to basically say, hey, the Democrat Party got you the right to vote. People died for that, without saying, well, Democrats also killed slaves for trying to learn how to read to get their way up out of slavery. Democrats went to war to keep their slaves. Let's not ever forget that. Democrats went to war to keep their slaves. Quiet as kept, that's part of what the national anthem is about. That's why you only have part of the national anthem. You can look up the whole national anthem, the letter that was written by Francis Scott Key, I think his name is. Yeah. But they knew they had to take a lot of it out because it actually talked about more of what that whole battle was about. They want to keep those slaves. They didn't want to give up. And so now they have puppets who are also puppeteers. They have puppets, Roland Martin, puppet, who's controlled by a puppeteer. But the puppeteer who controls Roland, controls Ricky, Steve, all of those puppeteers understand that you too, my black goon, my black jigaboo, you too can be a puppeteer, but only to your people. Only to the poor Black community and the poor Latino community, the poor Hispanics, only the poor people of America, the poor Puerto Ricans, the poor Native Americans. You can also be their puppeteers, but you must tell them what we tell you to tell them. You can't puppeteer on your own. You only puppeteer as we give you the directions on how to make them jiggle, how to make them move. That's what we need you for. And you know what? They don't fail. Every time they're told to. Every time they are giving their orders, they come out. And if it means spitting on black people, spitting down on them, kicking them, talking down on them like we dumb, like we don't have no sense. It's so crazy to hear Rickey Smiley crying every day. And he literally saying in his tears, man, they're not even doing no research. And it's clear that that fool is the one that ain't did no research. That's what made me post Shirley Chisholm. That's what made me post Shirley Chisholm. Out of all the people that was getting on her bandwagon and supporting her, they called it the Chisholm Trail. To this day, Kamala Harris didn't win one delegate, one vote, not one. Shirley got, I think, 152. That's powerful. That's a lot. But you can believe it was those dress dancing, dress wearing men that wouldn't support her. But they'll support Kamala, who has represented nothing for the black community. Shirley Chisholm actually had black policies, black concerns, relative things to the black and poor people of America that would uplift them. She sounded a little bit more like she had a real backbone for the poor people in the black communities of America. So they wasn't going to have that. They weren't going to have that. They had to wait for Obama, and now they planted in Kamala. Yeah, man. It's really, really disappointing to see some of the Christians, the people that called themselves Christians a long time ago, that I really, really, really looked up to. It's crazy how things have turned. It's crazy to see so many strong people of God who you can actually still see the love in their faces. You can still see the love of God in them. But when it comes to a certain thing, they are willing to put it all aside for one or two things. One, for the hate of Donald Trump, which would be wrong because that's the hate of somebody. Or for the love of a skin color. For the love of somebody who's directly saying, I'm a Marxist and I am here to destroy America, the nuclear family, or the natural construction of the family. I am here to destruct all of that. And Christians are so caught up on color that they are saying, first black woman. And by the way, I want to say I'm so proud of the men of America right now. Really, really proud. Really, really, really proud of them for the ones that's standing up. It's going to be some following their wives without a word to say, but it's a lot of them that are coming out on the limb saying, you know what? Enough is enough. If they get 4 more years, I will not even, for those married men, they understand, they man, y'all marriage on the line. 4 more years of this, your woman going to be leaving you. And guess where she going? She going to find her a migrant with no bills, a free house, free rent, free medical, free school, especially if he let you tell him what school to go to, what to take up. My goodness, my brothers, I'm so glad. My fellas, if you hear this, understand this is not a joke. Wouldn't that be appealing to almost anybody? Especially how they're breaking up the black family homes. That's appealing to almost anybody. You mean to tell me I'm going to deal with you? I've been struggling for 4 years, a real serious struggle with inflation, with school, all of these different people coming into our schools to where we almost need private schooling, but I can't afford it. Catching the city bus, food stamps, just a constant struggle. and you got a record, and I got to deal with you for 4 more years? Because this, oh, no. No, because see, Enrique or Felipe or Tony, whatever his name is, because they're not all Mexican. Yeah. That brother that just came over the fence, he got 20 band on hand. He got enough money to buy a food truck from a lady that's broke, another black veteran that couldn't afford to keep her business going. So yeah, I just met a migrant. And the struggle don't seem so real for him. He got a house, no bills, no this, no that. I can even take and manage his money for him. I'm telling y'all, fellas, my brothers, stay alive like you're doing. I almost said stay woke, but they didn't hijack the word woke. But definitely don't stay asleep. Definitely do not stay asleep. Man, come on, man. Y'all been in the community just like me, man. If you hood and you know what I'm talking about, you already know the deal. How many of our sisters have we seen marry a Palestinian or somebody else to get 15 band right up front? Or 10 band right up front? Come on, man. Stop playing. Y'all know how the game go. It don't happen as much, but somebody know. I'm talking about they used to be getting it to them. I need to get this green card. I'll marry you and give you $1,500 a month. Come on, man. We know how it go. We done seen it. Real life. And you mean to tell me that won't look interesting or attracting for a black mother that's struggling right now dealing with the BS that we got going on in America, and you tell me 4 more years of this? Man, your marriage in trouble, brother. Unless you got God in the midst of it, straight up. If you got one of those kind of women that are supporting this, and a lot of them are, and don't even realize what they're supporting. Yeah, man, that's it. That's it. That's all. Solo, single, no more, no less. God is always, yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yeah, man, I'm finna get up out of here. I'm definitely not watching the DNC. I'll wait until tomorrow to see some more of the insults that they would have for God. But more than anything, it's the people that are supporting these insults. You need to be ashamed of yourself. And you don't need to call yourselves Christian in front of kids, because when our kids look up and see these old people who have turned into straight hypocrites, that's why they act the way they act. And the system get hold to them and call them, y'all know what time it is. Whatever they call them, it end up to felons. That's what they eventually end up calling them. I'm out of here, man. God is good. It's been a long day at work, but a safe day, a grateful day. Woo! It's amazing how people want to use God. I couldn't believe Raphael Warnock started out like that. Pastor Warnock. Senator Warnock. What kind of pastor is he? Look at Atlanta. So you know why he's silent. You know he's not going to say anything. Look at Atlanta. But it's amazing how blacks keep supporting, keep pushing in the same and voting for the same people that are against God. I'm out of here. God is good. Gotta go. If you have an opportunity, bless somebody tomorrow with a morsel, with a dollar, with a quarter, with a word. Inspiration. Let that person look up and say, thank you, Lord God. You know I needed that. Be the reason for the season. Great video. Love and light to all. That comes from Deja Vu. That's right. Love and light to all. We need it more than ever. I appreciate the support. Appreciate the follow. Appreciate the listen. Share, comment, all of that. When you can see it later, make sure your family members see it, even if they don't want to see it. All the time. I'm out. God is good.